Oh, I didn't see you there. Sorry, couldn't hear you. I was listening to my music, which I hope you listen to music too, because that's what this whole video is about. Well, more specifically, it's going to be about records, vinyl records. You know, that old thing you put on your record player and or your phonogram and just let it ride and just listen to it. The old people music, you know the one. I so happen to collect them, and that's what today's video is going to be about. I'm going to be showing you my favorite ones and saying what they mean to me, truly, because they do have sentimental meaning. And, you know, I hope you guys will understand. Let's let it know. I will be showing the covers, the album casings. I took the record out, so if you're like, you're holding it wrong, you're holding it wrong. First off, I'll hold them how I want, my baby. You treat your baby how you want. Second off, the record's out. I'll just be showing the cover and talking about it. Without further ado, our first contender is Tyler the Creator's 2019 self-published Igor. This album means a lot for me. It was how I really got into hip hop, I would say. I've heard like the popular songs that they play on the radio sometimes. Like, okay, yeah, my music taste started developing with this 2019 Igor. You know, it's very. Let's look at the cover real quick. It's very not traditional, you would say. It's experimental synth wave, hip hop, rap, singing. It's crazy. So what I like about this record is that it tells a story. So look on the inside, there's Tyler Baudelaire, Igor, Mr. Okoma, and then we have our track list right here. It starts out with Igor's theme, which then the start of that song ends like the last song on the album. It loops, it makes the looping noise, like the same noise, and I think that's really cool because you can just have it on repeat and you wouldn't even notice. And the vinyl actually comes with a secret song called Boyfriend, which isn't included on streaming services. Well, you can look at like one of those podcast things on Spotify and just find it very easily, but it takes the fun out of it. But that also, Boyfriend actually goes into the story. So the whole story of Tyler's Igor is that he's open about his love life, how he's in love with this man, but he can't have him because he's in love with this other girl. So on the beginning half of the album, talks about how much he wants this guy and how much he thinks he'd be good for him. But then we notice with A Boy Is a Gun, halfway through the album, it has the little star there in the name that signifies there's a switch in his mindset. Because you start realizing from that song onward, especially with titles like Gone Gone Thank You and I Don't Love You Anymore and Are We Still Friends, that Igor is starting to realize maybe this isn't the best thing for him. Maybe this isn't, maybe he should have let this go. He doesn't want to be in this triangle. But then the album, it loops, so it keeps on happening. I really like that. You know, Anthony Fantano, if you know him, he's a famous reviewer. He gave it a 9 out of 10, which I think it's very deserving of. 10 out of 10 is hard to do. But this is a great, like, love album. So yeah, I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I give it a 10 out of 10. It's like my favorite album of all time. Got me into hip hop. Has a great story. I love synth. I love hip hop. I love Tyler. And that's why Igor is one of my favorite albums of all time. And up next, on the completely other side of love, is Eminem's, Slim Shady's, Marshall Mathers' 2009 album Relapse. In many people's eyes, this is kind of, not the greatest album. You're contending with the Marshall Mathers LP, Slim Shady LP, and the Eminem Show. 3 very, very good albums, but this one holds into my heart. I love it. So when we look at this, you're like, why is his face all broken? If you really look in there, you can see it's a bunch of pills. It's because this is the first song he made coming back after rehab. I mean, funny enough, it's called Relapse, which is so it goes into the darker side of his, the darker side of Slim Shady, his alter ego persona. Like, you can see right there, he's holding a knife. It kind of looks like the Joker there. It says kill and blocks. You know, he's a murderer on this album. But then, if you look beyond that, it also goes very deep into his life about drugs and rehab and rehabilitation. On the songs like Deja Vu and Beautiful, he really gets like emotional with the listener. And then of course you have Slim Shady also on songs like Insane or Stay Wide Awake or Old Time's Sake. Very, very different. There's two different sides here. And these are all mainly produced by Dre, which, by the way, I would argue some of Dre's best production is on this album. We get the backside, it's like a prescription thing. The whole like drug thing, there's a constant theme here. And then, it has all the songs here. What else can I say about this album? I would say my favorite song on here is actually the last track, which is Underground, and it's kind of a messed up song. There's a lot of messed up songs, but it's just he has a hook. A lot of Eminem's hooks on this is just entices you in. Like you can't stop bobbing your head. I want to listen to this around other people. They'd probably think you're a little crazy, depending on which song you pick. But or the time where he's on Must Be the Ganja, talking about marijuana and all that. He goes on about different like serial killers and murderers, and like that flow is crazy on that song. Give that song a listen. This also came off after his best friend Proof died. Big Proof. R.I.P. him, because he also like got Eminem, started, D12. They were part of D12. D12 disbanded after that. Went to rehab, got himself better. I love like the risk he took after coming back from rehab to make something like this, because this isn't like anything he's done before. This is very different. This is experimental horrorcore rap, which you don't really see nowadays at all. You don't see a lot of horrorcore. I love it. I love this album. And yeah. Next up, we have Chappell Roan's 2024 Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess. Open it up here. She's getting all glammed up, you know what I mean? Did her makeup, the backside, her again, look in the mirror. Very nice cover art. As you can tell, she does herself up a lot. So what this album does that the other two don't is that this brings back memories. This reminds me of summer of 2024, walking down the creek, just having a good time. I was on a bus ride, and I was just listening to this nonstop. I think I listened to the album 2 or 3 times on repeat, and just, I don't know, it means a lot to me, you know what I mean? Like, sentimentally and emotionally. This is a lesbian pop album, which, spoiler warning, I'm not a lesbian. But, it speaks volumes. I love it. I'd love to see more of her work. The Giver is coming out soon. And, I don't know, not too much else to say. Very glamorous album. I don't think there's a skip on it. My favorite song would be Naked in Manhattan or California. 2 of my favorites. Either way, that's Chappell Roan's Rise and Fall of the Midwest Princess. Then last, certainly not least, is Ye's 2018 self-titled album, Ye. See on the front there, I hate being bipolar, it's awesome. We like to separate the artist here, especially as of some of the things he said and done. Not the greatest guy. But, man, this is a beautiful album, Anthony, Mr. Pantano, The Needle Drop, rated this an 8 out of 10, which I would agree, I definitely love it. It also reminds me of the summer of 2024 because I was also listening to this album because I just discovered it not too long ago. You know, when people look at Kanye albums, they're like, oh, my favorite's Graduation, The College Dropout, Late Registration, My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. I point to this one, okay? And I think it's because of like the gospel soul. Some reason, like rappers over gospel soul is really good, and I don't know why. You can see that in, I think Joey Badass dropped 3 singles on like an EP recently, and they all have like gospel soul in the background, and like, oh my god, those are so good. It's crazy. Check that out too. You know, I don't have that on vinyl. He hasn't made that, but that's great. See the track list here. Definitely going through it. I thought about killing you. Yikes. All mine. Wouldn't leave. No mistakes. Ghost Town. Ghost Town with Party Next Door is probably my favorite Kanye song of all time. Just if any song on here, you should listen to that one. Violent Crimes is also iconic. You know, you got the Gay Mountains. You know, this was after The Life of Pablo, and this was before Kids See Ghosts. He dropped this and Kids See Ghosts. It was supposed to be like 2 mini albums to make one full album, and he did not disappoint. Kids See Ghosts is like also disputed to be one of his best albums of all time. You know, it's sad to see him go crazy because he did make beautiful, beautiful art. Until he started this Vultures 1 and 2, and now he's making bowling. God knows all that crap, but for the time, and this still stands the test of time. It's a beautiful album. I love it. And that's the video, ladies and gentlemen. If you liked, make sure you like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, maybe what your favorite album is, what you think about those ones. You know, big, wide variety of genre. You know, lesbian pop, soul rap, synthwave rap. You know, it's all good stuff. Horrorcore. I listen to many genres. You know, would advise you to listen to many genres, or else there might be something out there that you might not like. But either way, buy vinyls. They're cool. Physical media forever. And till next time, ladies and gentlemen, peace out.